Okay.
All right. Start with the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Morning all. We're back to somewhere in the spring area as opposed to yesterday's version of summer. All right, we'll call the meeting to order. The agenda, any other additions or subtractions?
No.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda. I'll second. We have a motion and a second for the agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Minutes from the 16th.
Oh. Bruce has pointed out to me that in the minutes, it says I wasn't here for the vote on the resolution. You have to physically be here. Do you know, is that why I was considered absent? But that was on the phone.
He voted aye
That
on
would be
both.
my fault, I did not know you were on the phone,
Oh,
that was my mistake.
oh, okay.
We'll just do that correction on that then.
Yeah,
All right.
we'll just switch that.
Well, that was all that was noticed. I'll make a motion to approve that minutes, Sam.
We have a motion.
I'll second.
In a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Claims.
Make a motion to approve claim for, drainage of $1,715.15, be 1715.15. And on claims will be $277,994.74. Be 277,994.74.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Claims are approved. General public concern? Anyone?
Did you want to say something?
Well, state your name, please.
The board.
Just state your name, please.
Mike Peterson.
Mike Peterson.
Okay.
Are you all kind of running forward with this trail to Badger thing?
I don't know if anybody's running anywhere, they're looking into the,
We're looking into funding it, yes. I've run that road quite a bit before it died, and the ditch between Badger and Humboldt is quite deep. If that's where you're planning on putting the trail, there's gonna be a ton of fill's gonna have to put in those ditches just to get that trail up to level. And my question would be, it's an awful lot of money to spend for yet another trail. We've got one trail, Three Rivers Trail, it goes from Rolfe to Eagle Grove. Why do we need one going to Badger? Nobody's even on that trail, you know. I drive a school bus and I go over that trail several times. I have never seen anybody on that trail from Dakota City to going east. And now we're gonna want to spend money to go to connect to Badger. I don't get it. You say that we're gonna have grants gonna pay for this. Grants is taxpayers' money. It just comes from a bigger pool of money. It's still taxpayers' money. And I don't see the need to spend that kind of money for something that a very, very small percentage of people are gonna use. Very small. We went to Fort Dodge here again, I think it was Saturday. I saw two people riding a bicycle on the Badger Road, south of Badger, on that trail there. Two people. We want to spend that kind of money for such a small population of people's gonna use it? We already got a bridge, that's not your business, we got a bridge going nowhere now. I yet to see anybody on that bridge. You Well, go Mike, across that
I'll
bridge,
stop you there. I walked that bridge Friday afternoon. I counted 26 people I met on that trail in a half an hour.
Okay, I've not seen one person, I tell one person
People,
standing.
I was shocked how many people were using it Friday afternoon.
Yeah, but even at that percentage, we're what, 66,000 people between Humboldt and Dakota City? How many people are gonna use that trail or use this trail that you're proposing? It's only out of proportion. If you used to build something for the masses, that's one thing. But you're building something like that for just a very small percentage of people that's gonna use it. I just think it's a terrible waste of money. taxpayers' money. I don't care where it comes from, it's taxpayers' money. So anyway, that's all I got to say. I just wanted to voice my opinion. I appreciate you guys for listening to me and just wanted to voice my opinion.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? All right. Looks like Denise is ready to go. Good morning, Denise.
Good morning. Did you all receive your packets?
I don't,
I don't believe so. No.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen.
that'll work.
Oh, if I could have sharing.
Case.
It'll just be a minute.
I might have to do it in the second meeting.
Oh, do you want to use?
I gotta go use Travis' computer, yeah.
Okay. He's gotta change it in the settings of the computer.
He's gonna change that setting on the computer, Denise, if you can.
Yeah, you bet. No
A
problem.
little bit of time, or you can start with the.
Yeah, why don't we go ahead and get started? Because the first few pages, I'm going to review the results of the trust before we get into Humboldt County details. So why don't I just run through that while we're waiting so I'm not wasting time.
There you go.
Okay, so IGHCP has grown to 55 entities participating in the joint purchase agreement. So there's 54 other groups like Humboldt County that are using IGHCP to joint purchase health insurance and related benefits. That's the equivalent of 13,000 members. So 13,000 Iowans are covered under this program, again, for the purposes of joint purchasing health insurance. We do have a few schools that are in the program, but as I mentioned each year, IGHCP is not currently open to schools. So the groups that are participating, that are schools in IGHCP, were brought in on an exceptional basis and are welcome to stay. We're happy to have them, but we are not adding new schools. We are open to other governmental entities outside of cities and counties, such as a waterworks or utilities, waste management facilities like that. We're actually working with a juvenile detention center that's kind of county run. So there are other entities that are available outside city county government. Next, in the packet is the savings analysis for Humboldt County. When Humboldt County came into IGHCP, you were one of the original 8. We started IGHCP with 8 cities and counties across the state of Iowa, and Humboldt County was one of those original members. So back then, we worked with you and the Board of Supervisors, the auditor, to collaborate and create this program that was going to be really geared toward what was important for city county government and the decisions and the timing of those decisions. So since joining IGHCP, you have increased your Wellmark premium at the rate of 3.25% from 2005 through current. So for about 21 years, your average increase in your Wellmark premium has been just right around 3% year over year. The average increase in your total cost. So when you look at your total cost, this is fluctuation in your partial self-funding, fluctuation in your Wellmark premium, fees, everything taken into consideration. Humboldt County's rates have increased at a rate of 4.14% year over year over the last 21 years.
Denise, I think Blue Cross's average is around 7, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it's closer to 9, about
Close to 9.
8.5,
So we're doing
9.
quite
Yeah.
well.
Yes, yep. And and in there is, as you talk to your neighboring counties, et cetera, I'm sure you've heard the horror stories. We're seeing several double-digit rate increases out in the market. There's one county on the western side of the state that got a 33% rate increase. So the concept of joint purchasing and spreading the risk, like we're doing with IGHCP, is certainly working and is holding these rates well below what the rest of the market is seeing. So, in addition to your cost increase at that rate of about 4% per year over the last 20 years, we've also been able to, over the last couple of years, you guys have been working hard at increasing your reserve. Having a partial self-fund reserve really helps the county weather those storms. So in the event we had a rate increase that was above what we budgeted for or higher than what we anticipated, having a healthy reserve will help you leverage that renewal and reduce the overall cost to the taxpayers, to the employees of Humboldt County. So, are we sharing screens yet?
We can, unless we end this meeting, apparently.
Oh, no problem. I'm going to
Then
keep on.
rejoin.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. So, looking at claims by month, Humboldt County has, you're running just a little over what the trust is running. So your claims are running at a 95% loss ratio. So that simply means that Wellmark has spent 95% of the dollars that we've sent them for the Wellmark claims. They spent 95% of those dollars on your claims. So your premium that we sent to Wellmark is $1.4 million, 1.404072, and the amount of claims paid in that exact same period is 1.3 million, creating that 94% or 95, percent loss ratio. In your packet, you'll find your high cost claimants. We've reviewed those a few times now. So I'm going to get to your medical benefit overview. As it relates to your health insurance going into this next plan year, there aren't any real changes that will be impacting the employee's health insurance plan. There is a PBM, a pharmacy benefit management rule or ruling that's out in Iowa, and while some of it's still under speculation, and I think some of it's even being litigated, there is a piece of it that we're going to go ahead and move forward with. Rick, I think we discussed this at the IGHCP board meeting. The idea of this pharmacy benefit manager law rule is that we treat rural pharmacies the same as we're treating big box pharmacies. So we have the Costco's, the Walgreens, these large big box pharmacies. We don't want to give preferential treatment to them over our local rural pharmacist. So that's what the language is around. So we had to scour our plans just to make sure we weren't doing that. And there is one area of our plan where we were giving preferential treatment to those larger big box stores over our local pharmacies, and that's as it pertains to mail-in or mail order drugs. So your current plan has a mail order drug piece to it that allows employees to get their maintenance medications through the mail. And when they do that, they can get a 3-month supply for 2 co-payments. So that's where the incentive lies, is we're giving them a month for free if they use the big box store, if they use our PBM, which is CVS. So currently you have employees that are getting their maintenance medications, they're being delivered to their homes, and they're paying one less copay for those drugs by utilizing that service. So rather than stripping that service out of our plan, we were able to negotiate with Wellmark that we can offer the same service at your local pharmacy rather than take away a benefit. So instead of removing the mail order benefit, we're extending it to local pharmacies. So if you have drugs that qualify for mail order, so these are going to be your maintenance medications. If you have maintenance medications, you can go to your local pharmacy beginning July 1 and pick up a 3-month supply for 2 co-payments. So now we've created the same incentive for your local pharmacist that we've created for the big box store, making our plan compliant. There's no cost. We were able to get that through without cost. I think it's gonna be a savings to your plan. Most of those maintenance medications are very inexpensive and they're in the tier 1 or tier 2 copayment area. Any questions there?
Nope.
Okey doke. So, looking at setting rates for next year, I sent you your renewal, which was the equivalent of a 2.32% rate increase. If you increase at a 2.32% rate increase, that keeps everything the same relative to how you're funding your plan. You are overfunding your plan today intentionally because the board a few years ago made a decision that you wanted to grow your reserve to create that kind of that cushion, that safety net in your partial self-fund reserve. So currently, we're funding for about $324,000 to go into that reserve annually. And what you're using is right around 130,000. Okay, so we anticipate you're going to if the last 5 months of your plan year were like the first part of your plan year, we think you're going to finish around 132,000 in claims. But we've set aside 324,000. So in a matter of a year, we've grown your reserve. Your reserve balance through February is just under $200,000. So right now in the bank, in your reserve, you have 195,570. So you have in reserve that 195, you're using at 131 today. If I look at your 5-year history, you use at about 160,000. So you're having a good year. So I'd like you to say we probably will use 160,000. That's our 5-year average. So you're using at 160, you have just under 200 in the bank, and we're putting in 324. So from a partial self-fund perspective, there's absolutely no need to take any increase higher than that 2.32%. I think that in the coming years, we can look at backing down that new money coming into your plan a little bit and rely on the growth of your current reserve. So with that, any questions on the premium increase of 2.32%? Do you want to see something different than that?
I myself would bump it up a little bit to maybe 3, just to. I know in the past we got down to actually almost negative in their self-funding,
Yes, you did.
and I don't want to see that happen again.
Yeah, at the end of your 24-25 plan year, it was all the way down to $500.
Yeah,
And then at the end of that was 23-24, 24-25, we got it back up to almost 72,000. And now again, we're up to about 195.
it's 3 enough. Moving it up to 3 would be more than enough, do you believe?
Yes, I do believe that would be more than enough.
Staying right where we're at, there's enough. If
Yes,
nothing major happens.
yes,
And when I say major, it isn't into one individual, it has to happen to a lot of individuals to.
that's exactly right. That's
Our
exactly right.
self-funding comes, where that gets hurt is when there's a lot of small claims.
Yep,
That's what hurts her. It's not one large claim, it's a lot of small ones is what hurts.
that's exactly right. So right now, Rick, I have your plan funded for 47% of your people having those large, having a lot of little claims. So what I expect is closer to 25%. We have it funded for 47%.
Okay.
But I can certainly run your renewal right now. I have it at 2.32. I can round that up to 3%. And send it to you. I don't have to have a decision today, so I can send that to you. And then you can look at what a 3% does to your reserve over the 2.32, and we can get back together.
That should bump our reserve up. Are you guys comfortable with the three?
I'm not more than three.
I am.
I am.
I think the board's comfortable with the three.
Okay.
I think we should move forward with that and,
We'll just run the numbers and get back to us. We'll.
Yes, I'll get that over to you immediately following the meeting.
okay.
And then next time we'll be able to share.
Maybe.
No. Thanks, Denise.
Okay, just quickly on the dental, your dental is increasing at a rate of 4.5%. No change in benefits, no change in any of the payment. The way the payments are made, it's just a 4.5% increase in premium. So for example, on a single premium today, that's $32.72. In July, that's going to go to $34.20. So a couple of dollars a month on the single is where that's going up. In total, the total dental premium today is $32,687. That's going to $34,000. Vision, no change in premium, no change in benefits. That's a 0% renewal. Quickly on the life insurance, we did take the life insurance out to bid this year. So we had multiple carriers look at the life insurance products that we're offering and the pricing. Just to make sure as we've grown, we want to make sure we're still getting the best economies of scale based on our size. So with IGHCP growth, it is important that we look at our partners, every couple of years to make sure, again, we're getting the best opportunity for the IGHCP membership. So in that process, I was able to go back to the current insurer, which is Standard. I went back to Standard and was able to negotiate a 4.5% reduction in the employer cost for the life insurance. So your life insurance premium will go down by 4.5%. I was also able to get an 8.5% reduction for your employees. So anybody that's participating in the life insurance program, this is the voluntary life insurance where your employees are buying additional life insurance over what the county's providing. Their rates will decrease 8.5% along all age bands. And then the last and probably most important piece is because we're not switching to a different carrier, we aren't going to get a true open enrollment. That's just the way the life insurance carriers work. But again, I was able to negotiate that Standard does do a one-time true open enrollment. So what that means is that all employees will be treated like a new hire, a new employee, and they'll have the opportunity to get into the life insurance program without answering any medical questions. So let's say, for example, you have an employee that signed up for that didn't sign up for life insurance when they were a new hire or several years ago when we first offered this product. The only way they can get life insurance through the program today is by answering a series of medical questions, and then they have to be approved based on their good health. So this 1 year in May, when we do open enrollment, all of your employees will be treated as new hires, and every single person will get an opportunity to get up to $200,000 of life insurance, regardless of their health history. So even if they've been diagnosed with something or they're otherwise uninsurable, no questions asked, up to $200,000 on your employees and up to $40,000 on their spouses. The last page in your book is the current membership. So far for this year, for 2026, we've just added one group. That was Waterloo Waterworks. They came on January 1. All other membership is looking at a July entry date. So we're right in the middle of getting those groups finalized. So with that, that's what I have. I'm going to rerun your renewal at a 3%, and I'll show you a comparative between the 2.32 that I've previously sent along with a 3%, and I'll get that right over to you.
Denise, on that life insurance, when they have the opportunity to do that, do they also have to sign if they decline that?
No. We don't
Okay.
require a declination.
All right. And the other thing, I might call you. I just checked to make sure I have your number. I have one of my boards that they're looking for insurance, so I might call you and give you some contact names, please.
Sure, you bet.
All right.
Happy to reach out.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, I will get you this follow-up material here in the next 15 minutes.
All right, appreciate it, Denise, thank you very
Yep,
much.
thank you. Yep, bye-bye.
All right. Those numbers were what we plugged in.
Yeah, we actually plugged in a 5, I think, didn't we?
Thanks
Good.
for the most part, yeah.
That's nice. All right. I don't know, is Alyssa around? Oh, she is
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
All right, Alyssa.
Well, I guess maybe as an intro,
Okay.
real quick. One of the challenges with this Prairie Rivers to Three Rivers Trail project that we're kind of up against is that we'll need a decent portion of our local match money sooner rather than later. I guess had quite a few discussions with Alyssa on alternative sources, and she had an idea on maybe how we could make this cash flow or make it a go. So I guess she's here to talk a little bit about that idea.
Yeah, so he's right. I gathered my information in Missouri. So from what I understand, the county supports the project. There's a gap of what I understand to be about 250,000, which is the cash that's needed to start the engineering on the project. So I did reach out to our partners at Mid-American Energy. They do have kind of like a planning, I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but a planning program that we can use for economic development. And one of the, I think, pain points they have is just what happens if the project isn't funded in the grant funding way that I think you folks have in mind. So I did reach back out and ask them if they would be willing to support the project, the actual construction of the project, right? So I'm waiting to hear back from him, but from what I understood, it was a cash on hand issue, not whether or not the funding exists. So from what I understood, the revenue share you folks agreed to is estimated to be 150,000 over a 3-year period. You had 20 from hard pack, hoping to get another 20 from hard pack, so that puts us at 195. And then I think Todd was gonna apply for the community foundation funding, which would put you over that 250 mark. The problem is you don't have that today, from what I understand, to authorize him to start the engineering. So, yeah, I mean, it's creative financing, that's the way my world works. So, our organization has a revolving loan fund that we support community and business projects. And so my thought was, if you already have it, why not use our revolving loan fund sort of as that short-term gap? So we would have about 195. And so what we would do is inject that cash today through our loan fund program, and then take the pledges that he believes he has as collateral. I want to be totally fair, it is a loan, so we have to go through the promissory note process and all of that. The county would, I'm working on the logistics, but at this point, the county would have to promise to pay, right? And that's at the end of the day. But we've talked extensively, so what's the worst case scenario? Worst case scenario is you do this, so I would do. I'm making all this up. I would do 2 years, no interest, no payments, so your payment would be due the end of the 3rd year. It would be amortized over the remaining 8 years. So worst case scenario, you have a payment due the end of the 3rd year. That would be assuming you had nothing in revenue share over that period, assuming the hard pack money somehow disappeared. Obviously, I believe you folks feel confident that's not going to happen. So really all that it is just a way to get cash today. And then pay this note off as those pledges are available. We would structure to protect all parties, we would structure the note that I would list these pledges and that they must go to the note first, just to protect you folks. The goal at the end of the 3-year period is not to have a payment, it's to have the 250 paid off, if not long before then. It's just a way to try to get you that cash today. Certainly do not have to do it. I'm just trying to be creative and think of ways that we can get, I think from what I understand, the engineering plans and specs to do some of the grant applications.
Yes.
And so I hate to miss those if it's a cash in hand issue, right? Which it sounds like you have the money, it's just not right now that you can write a check for. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you have.
So we would be essentially be the guarantor of that loan. I'm not exactly sure.
And that's okay, we've gotta, from what I understand, we need the cash today. So that's the only way I can think of to get the cash.
It would be helpful to get the project ready, for sure. We have a track record. I know I gave you a sheet of our revenues for the last, 15 years or so. I mean, dating back to 2015. The lowest it's been is 90. Here in the last 5 years, it's always been 120. Unless people quit using the parks, I just don't.
That money's gonna be there. I know Mike doesn't appreciate it as much as I would appreciate, because I drive that road out there. And somebody's gonna get run over on that road. Cause their bikes ride that road.
And people have got to understand that this is not for the conservation, this is for the county, it's for the community, it's for everybody, it's just not for conservation.
No.
And it's.
Like, if it would help,
We've entered into this arena with another entity, and now we're making payments, and I'm not comfortable with not knowing where the end is.
yeah, and that's certainly understand that. We would take an assignment of the resolution that you passed at the last meeting. So at a minimum, you would have what you've already agreed to. Right?
At minimum, but the chances, I mean, the expenditures that come up as a surprise during these things is usually just that, it's a surprise. Well, at the end of the day, at the end of 3 years, is that money gonna be there?
Oh, because are you thinking, like, help me? I wanna structure this, are you thinking the 250 becomes 300?
Well, at the end of 3 years, we'll be making a payment on it, that's what I'm thinking.
Because the pledges won't come in?
Because the pledges are gonna be needed to facilitate emergency things that come up during this process, which they're going to. I can't foresee what they're going to be, but they're going to happen.
You mean additional expenses?
Yeah, there you go. So we need to get this done, so we're gonna spend the money on that, whether it be, whatever it might be. Shelter house falls in, I'm just using hypotheticals.
Oh, you're talking other.
Other conservation needs is going to suck that money away to go other places, and I'm afraid that we're gonna be stuck because there's no obligation of that money being spent on this loan, other than, yeah, it's gonna be there.
That would get obligate.
Maybe I'm confused.
They had a resolution.
Yeah, sure.
Half of that, yeah, half of that money was supposed to go for that, but
Yes.
I don't know.
a lot of times that money don't go there for some reason.
Well, you made the commitment to it going there, or was that just a talk? I thought that was a vote.
That was a vote.
That was a vote that we had here that it is going to go there.
And what surprises are gonna come up on the trail? That's not. Avail themselves, yeah, that's what I'm trying to understand is
Well,
what,
this is for the engineering part.
just strictly engineering part.
Yes, and the easement, wiring easement. It's not for building the trail, it's not for maintaining the trail.
No, it's
This is for the easement and the
Even
engineering.
an engineering cost.
And if we don't get that,
It stays there. If we don't get grant money, that easement stays there, nothing really changes, everything stays. We don't lose anything. We've already got our head into the game.
Yeah.
We just need to finish it.
What I think what Mike's asking is even if, okay, let's say you earmark all this money to take care of the engineering, take care of the loan. What happens in the meantime, if an unforeseen expense comes up? All this money is already allocated and can't be used. How are you supposed to address the new expense that needs to be taken care of?
Thanks, John.
Sorry, I think that's,
No, thank you.
I think that's what you're asking.
Like, shelter house blown up, you need to redo it. I get it, yeah.
But then technically to be proper, they would have to rescind
Well-
that vote
Yeah, I think,
and then
I think
have to, right? I mean,
Well,
there is a resolution on file.
I'm not trying to answer the question. I'm just trying to say, I think what Mike's asking is, all right, we take this money, earmark it for engineering for the trails. There's a chance that other expenses come up and now what do we do if and when these other expenses come up? So I wasn't trying to answer it.
Thank you.
I just was trying
You
to
clarified it.
think I
Yeah,
was trying to,
That makes sense. I'm just saying
So-
procedurally, they'd have to rescind.
right, so even if
and
they
we can
rescind-
play the what if game forever and Humboldt will sit here and die. If
Absolutely.
we're not growing, we're dying.
We need to take a chance.
And you look at these other communities that are growing, they have these facilities. I know a lot of people don't think they get used, but Mr. Peterson was in here and said, nobody uses that
You
trail.
got a percentage of it.
I walked that damn trail Friday after the game and it was busy.
2021 survey of Humboldt County residents. 91% indicated they walk or run on the trail at least occasionally. 73% reported biking on the trail at least occasionally. And I get it, that's 5 years ago, but that's a local Humboldt County survey. That's, I mean, to me, those numbers are eye popping. People do use the trail. I could not disagree with Mr. Peterson more.
I mean, we went through this, with the dam. We spent $130,000 on surveys and studies and designs. And we passed a vote in this boardroom to support money for a grant. The city dropped the ball. Now we're sitting here 3 years later, same damn thing. They're doing it down in Des Moines. $54 million project that's being funded down there for whitewater recreation on the river. And we let it go. Well, I mean, not our board, our city council let it go. I mean, if we don't do something for this community, it's just gonna dry up and die.
Yep.
So I'm pretty passionate about it and I don't ride bikes. Cause I see what the other communities do have. And,
Look at Woodward. On their trail.
yeah, I know it's closer to Des Moines.
Yeah,
Things like a freeway down there, all the people on it. Little restaurants and bars, and they're busy. I know. Not a lot of people go from Lone Tree Road east. That's because, where does it go? If it went on down to Fort Dodge, I'm sure it would get busier. And once we get this section connected, there will be another grant that will get it paved from there into town. And then we will have a real gem. So if we don't do this, I mean, what are we gonna do here? Tell me what else out here are we gonna do? I'm just tired of not funding this community. We tried it for the dam. And we lost it.
we could have had it, could have 99% of that paid for, and we lost everything. And it would have been perfect
Yeah,
for Humboldt.
and maybe it wasn't exactly what the damn community wanted. But it was something.
Mhm.
And maybe we get this trail hooked up, maybe we'll get another shot at the dam, doing something with it down the road. But we gotta grow. I mean, if Ben was in here asking for an excavator, we give it to him, oh, we wouldn't even question it.
Right.
Ben says, I want an excavator, okay, we'll get an excavator.
I don't think anybody's
Maintain.
arguing that point, Rick. I think they're trying to figure out, can we afford to do it? I mean, right now,
They just laid it out,
okay,
they just laid it out, how it's gonna get funded.
and my question is, are we putting this money in to play in the card game? So that we can put our money in for the grants? Cause we don't know we're gonna get a dime.
No, we don't.
In the grant situation. And can we pay that 250 that we're questioning, that we're gonna borrow from Alyssa or from Humboldt?
How much is it? How much are we borrowing then?
190.
Yeah. But I-
195.
Okay, so 200?
That's the difference.
I'm just asking.
Yeah.
I don't even get to vote, so unless it's 2-2, then I'm the one that gets to sit here, so.
Yeah, I mean, I think. Gosh, I hate to rehash the whole project concept.
If you're not comfortable with doing the loan thing, it's not gonna completely scuttle it, it just would have made it easier on my end to move it forward.
I mean, I think, Bruce, to your point, and I'm learning along the way, so you guys have to correct me if I'm wrong. But you already have a TAP grant for 750, and you applied for another TAP grant Friday. So at some point, you're gonna have to either give the money back, which is a
Yeah.
really bad idea from a grant funding standpoint, or you're gonna have to decide how to push it over that last, like, I'm not here to tell you how to do that. I'm a creative financing person, that's my gig. It doesn't necessarily matter what the project is, right? So I guess the way that I understood it was, at least if you get over this immediate hurdle that's in front of us with the 250, you have the plans and specs, right? Those can be updated minimally if it takes years, but even if you lose all grant funding and you give back what you have the basis to drive the project forward, whether that's in 6 months or 60 years, is how I understood it, right? It wasn't the big concept of the trail and how do we pay for it? What if the grants don't come in? My understanding was get over this baby first hurdle to get us the plans and specs that we need to make a trail project happen, if you folks chose to, in whatever manner that was. That's how I understood it. If that's not correct, you guys need to speak now, because, I mean, my measly $200,000 isn't gonna do anything for your $5 million trail. I'm just
Right.
trying to get that first step, if that makes sense, right? So I think every chance that you have to discuss your letters of support and things like that for the grant, certainly, I understand it's chicken and egg. Do you wanna do this if you're not gonna do the trail at all? I get that. But that was my understanding, Bruce. So that's where I think it's that baby first step, not the whole concept.
And using the same analogy with Ben, it's the same thing we're doing with that bridge, right? Similar?
Yeah.
We got turned away however many years ago.
3 years, 2-3
And we
years.
kept
Keep applying.
going back, doing it again, so that we have those steps taken. And I guess that's what he's asking.
Yeah, we've got 500,000 in that bridge out there, probably already,
So,
that we don't have yet.
Right.
Jenny, you farm. I'll throw this analogy out there. Every spring, you go put that corn in the ground. There's no guarantee you're getting 220 bushel an acre. There's no guarantee you're getting $8 a bushel when you go to the co-op and you sell it. But you do it every year, because you're pretty darn sure you're gonna make money. And not this year, but most of the time you do. To me, that's a very good comparison to what we're trying to do here. I can't guarantee you this grant funding is gonna come through. But I'm pretty sure we're gonna do very well with the grant funding. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I understand exactly where you're at. This creative, I could have used her years ago.
well, it's not too late to get out of the game. You can get right back in. You still have the land.
Yeah,
And Mike, if it would help, I can run an amortization and show you what your payments would be. To John's point, you had to take 50,000 for a blown up shelter, whatever you said, and you had to make the payments. What would that be? I can show you, maybe that would give you coverage. And it'd be tiny and large.
I mean, we have insurance on our buildings, if something burns down, something
Right.
gets
Well, I
run
just-
into, whatever.
I know what
I know what he's saying. You build them up.
Unexpected things.
Yeah, I
Come on.
could run that if that would give you comfort on what that would look like. I mean, yes, you would be committed to it for the remaining 8 years if you didn't pledge anything.
And I think as long as I've been on the board, how many years I've been on the board? 20 years.
20 something.
I've never seen anything unexpectedly come up for expenses.
I know,
Knock on wood, knock on wood. I'm just saying that the conservation board has never really asked for a lot, ever. I think we do pretty good on our own.
Thank you.
Yeah, we do. We get, Pat does a good job.
So, what's your thoughts? I mean, I'm not trying to throw this off on you, but you're the one that has the magic, computer in there that you plug numbers in. Can we do a payment like we're doing across the street?
Yeah. Definitely do that, but
With our funding that we're gonna give 50% of the money that we already gave them 50%, so it's that out of our,
so the max the county would be responsible for, in theory, is 150, correct? Or 195?
195.
195.
well, I'm gonna put you, but, if we take an assignment of the resolution that you already passed, you wouldn't be able to rescind that because it would be used as collateral. So you will get the full 195 debt obligation. By the way, for your brain, we would do it subject to annual appropriations, so it wouldn't pass. But we wouldn't be able to rescind that then because it would be pledged as collateral, so technically. Unless John has a nuance here, of the 195 you borrowed. Your technical liability is 195, but it would be less the revenue sharing because we took that as collateral.
Right.
Right, so I'd be putting you in a bucket, you would have to honor that resolution that I believe you passed 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
You would have to honor that, but if you did that, then your potential liability would be the remaining, which I thought hardpack was covering. Does hardpack have 20?
Yes.
Pact has so pledged 20 grand. I don't have the check in my hand, but I could get that today if we needed it.
So we could do the note, or we could get the 20 and off that, to do it.
If Todd got the money he's talking about getting, and you use the assignment and assume the assignment is 50,000, then that would cover the 195.
The 150, I believe they're injecting,
Right.
would have to go to the 195, because I'm trying to get it paid down in 2 years.
No, I mean, what I'm saying is, if you took the revenue sharing and added in the money that Todd thinks he can get from the other places, that would add up to $195,000.
Correct.
So in theory, if everything works perfectly, all the money that's been pledged already by the county, which is approximately 150, and that could be higher.
Yeah.
It could be a little bit lower, but it could be higher too. I think Todd was pretty conservative in his estimate. So in theory, if this works, the county's not gonna have to find extra money to pay this back in 3 years.
That's why I brought it as an idea. I know you guys. That would be.
So I'm not,
That-
sorry, I don't have anything else to say, it's time.
Yeah, I mean, unless I'm wrong, I would be able to rescind it. So if we're trying to think of all the worst case scenario things that could happen, you'd be stuck with that agreement for 3 years or until the note was paid off. Because that's what you agreed to, but I understood that you already agreed to that, so I thought this was. Just here's to check.
What does Humboldt County have in this trail system right now? How far are we in?
We have about 33 miles.
33 miles, and are you looking at this as an addition, or are you looking at this as the end of our trail system?
I wouldn't say it's the end, Denny.
I mean, I don't think we'll have any additional, because we go to the county line.
Yep.
And I know the county to the east has plans, taking it from there to the other county line. Those
But that
plans
won't
are,
affect us.
no,
Isn't that-
the only thing that will affect us is someday they'll pave it,
Okay,
probably.
Isn't that a total of
That's a long way.
77
I mean,
miles?
that could be 30 years. from now.
yeah.
77. Once this connection is made, it'll be a total of roughly 77 miles between Humboldt and Webster. which would be the fourth longest continuous trail system in the state. I mean, you asked me about other trail projects, obviously, like connecting to Gotch Park someday. I think it'd be great. I think people would love it. To me, that's the obvious one. But
That's about
The-
2 mile,
the-
that's probably a 2 mile connection.
ish, probably.
So what if we had the money available in our own funds, right? But they're not being utilized. And I hate to even think about it.
I know.
I mean, we have it. But it's technically earmarked for somebody else, and I don't know if you can borrow on your own stuff.
Yeah, you could do an interfund loan.
And I don't know, was there a resolution on that?
On the dam money, sitting there.
500,000? And I don't
And
know
after
how
so many
long,
years, it goes back against the loan. That's the way it was taken out. If it's not used, it goes back against to the principal of the loan,
okay,
if I remember correct. I'm pretty certain on that, because it was a pretty hot topic at the time.
I'll have to look into that.
Why don't you look into that and see what the,
So it's not really just sitting there for anybody to use, it just has to go back.
I think that's the way it was written up at the time.
That's how I remember it too.
Yes, if it was set aside for research and design for the dam.
Mhm.
And if it didn't get used and the project went away, it was to go back after so many years to the principal of the loan.
So it is not sitting there.
Yeah, it's.
It's
money-
there. It's sitting there.
It's just
borrowed
sitting
it.
there, but it's not available,
Okay.
it's restricted use.
Only for the dam.
It's only for that purpose.
I hear
And as long as the dam's sitting there,
I'm sorry.
sit there,
I'm really sorry.
so.
So
Well. I wanna make a motion to move ahead with this creative financing that Alyssa has proposed. For the engineering and design of the trail. Is that a good enough motion? Understood by the board?
I'll second that motion,
How about we give an amount?
$195,000,
The one, was it the 195?
$195.
we have a motion, we have a second for $195,000. Is that, do you want to put on there as the financing for this trail only?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
As opposed to, it's just in the conservation board, and I'm
No,
nothing
no.
against you, Todd. We just, we're trying to make sure that next week we don't have 35 people standing out in the hall waiting to come in here. So we have 195 for trail, preparation or use,
Engineering and easement.
engineering.
This is basically an advance, it's not a.
It's not new or additional.
We're guaranteeing the loan, put it that, it's, probably should state it, it's a motion to guarantee the loan of $195,000. That's probably a better correct statement, correct? We're guaranteeing the loan. Yes. It's actually not coming out of our pockets, coming from Corn Belt. Yeah,
You know, most bankers, when you're sitting across, they always look mean, you don't look that mean.
You made this whole thing up last.
Oh my
Wednesday,
God.
So.
We appreciate it. What you're doing.
Well, is there any other discussion? Denny, you look like.
Well, I'm sitting here, I'm really torn because I relate to both of these guys quite well because of the fact that you can't sit. And not do anything. Been committed to this trail system for years. And to
yeah, it's a golden opportunity.
to get this completed. To where we call it completed. I think it's money well spent. On the other hand. I know where Mike's coming from, you know, we're sitting here trying to be creative as far as paying our bills and running this business, running this. And now we're tying on to another commitment. So I think that my feelings are that we're into it far enough that it needs to be completed. So I guess that's kind of what I lay out right now. Spend money that we really don't have is not real smart, but I think that we're committed and I think we need to move forward. So.
Well, we've committed half of the trail or half of the camping fund, user funds for the next 3 years, and we don't know what we're gonna have one camper out.
That's exactly right.
So, I mean, that to me is but I see them going in and out of there all week long, so the revenue is there. I hope it's there.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of like hoping for rain, you know, after you plant corn.
Back to the corn deal.
Yeah.
So, any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I do have a quick question for you.
What's that?
As several people have texted me about when you're gonna open the parks. Cause they wanna have their Easter get together out there.
Well, if the weather stays like Saturday, he could do it tomorrow, but if it goes back to.
Camping, yeah, Sheldon.
Exactly where
I
you're.
can't, officially open them, Bob, until we have the water tested.
Okay,
I want to knock this down, ton of shots of wells situation Thursday this week, so I won't test until the April 6th, whatever that Monday.
okay,
It'll be the weekend, or the week after Easter.
okay, that's fine.
It's been out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
Whatever pixie dust you got left in your office, they'll sprinkle it somewhere.
Yeah.
Got this. We'll work.
All right, thank you.
Thanks,
You're not done yet, Todd, are you?
I'll be right back.
Okay. All right.
I'm just gonna.
I'll probably call you later. I had a nice visit with Aaron yesterday, so. On another topic that we were talking about. Oh. FYI, the bids for the Ben's project closed at 9, so. Can we, how long is your presentation? Half hour?
No, 10 minutes max.
Can we bump him? Cause he's got his
Yeah.
uniform on, so he can go back to work.
I'm
You guys
assuming
be
you're
mad
on
about
duty
that?
right now,
I am.
so we gotta like
we-
get you out of here.
Could we switch you around, Ben? Would you be mad?
Good.
Well, he'll arrest you if you won't.
I'm just talking to
I appreciate it very much. He's gonna tell us about his
Yes.
deal that he went down and visited.
Yep. So I went down to the Iowa Narcotics Officers Association conference this last week in Des Moines. The board approved opioid funds paid for it the last time I was here. That is the receipt, for the conference. I used our card there and then, card for the hotel room for lodging. So those are receipts for both of those things.
Proof that you were there, right?
Correct. Let me get my notes. It was over the course of 3 days. It was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I explained that the conference itself is a training and education opportunity for law enforcement members, in the state of Iowa to further their knowledge of, narcotics enforcement and to network with other people in the surrounding, counties, cities, and as well as, other members that, come from other associations from different states. There were most of the trainings or the presentations had some sort of narcotics nexus to it. Some of them were more so along the lines of we had a DCI agent explain, what would happen in terms of if there was an officer involved shooting, how that timeline would be. Obviously, you would think that that doesn't happen in small town communities, but obviously we know that it does. Given the situation approximately 8 years ago. One of the things that stuck out to me with that is there are more law enforcement agencies in the state of Iowa of 10 or less than there are of 11 or more. So in that situation, there were 3 of us from the county that were there. If you put that into perspective of a larger agency like Des Moines, that's approximately 60 to 70 of their officers being involved in one situation. So that could have a huge detriment to the department as a whole and day-to-day operations leading forward. That was a fairly large takeaway from that. We had another one taught by somebody from Oklahoma, who they do a lot of interdiction stops on interstates and what to pay attention for in terms of traffic stops to combat narcotics distribution in terms of through our highways. That is the main way narcotics are distributed. It's upwards of 90% of all illegal narcotics have some sort of route through our county, state highways, county roads, all of that. That was a large majority of what to look for, what they're saying, making sure their stories match up to their intended route or trip. We also had another one on creating narcotics cases, how to do just surveillance, undercover work, the things of those. There's a lot of stuff that obviously we don't want to give away our tricks and trades. So there's a lot of paraphrasing going on here, if that makes sense. There was a Navy SEAL who came and spoke on adversity and overcoming obstacles. He was in SEAL Team 6, had a lot of his career and how he'd grown up. His mom was a prostitute, drug user, exotic dancer. He spent the first 10 years of his life basically locked in an apartment. His mother would invite her friends over. They would sexually assault his mother. He would have to listen to these kind of things throughout the whole process. He talked about how he's a very short statured guy. He would talk about how they would use the narcotics when they were there, and then they would basically ransack the apartment and steal everything they had. So they were constantly replacing their home items. He was small enough that he realized he could fit behind the refrigerator and hide from these people. So he said that he's got burns and scars all over his stomach because he would be back there for hours, and the radiators on the back of the refrigerators would cause burns. So talked about how his life was going down a really, really, really bad path. How he was learning that by observed behavior from his mother, until one day his mom got arrested for street level narcotics distribution. He entered into the had like a family that he went to live with, got him on the right track. I'll back up. So his mother got a new boyfriend, was living with him. He thought everything was great. You know, they weren't in this small apartment anymore. They were in this extravagant home, had nice things. Well, he later finds out that this was the mother's handler, so to speak, and all of these nice things were paid for by drug issues or drug distribution. And this guy would farm him out to fight other juveniles. It was like a juvenile fight club. So it was just one thing after another that this kid had to go through, or this guy, now a grown man, had to go through. His mother gets arrested with this narcotics case. He goes in foster care, gets placed with the family, grows up, ends up getting accepted into the Naval Academy, goes on to become a SEAL team member, goes on multiple deployments with hostage rescue, As this is going on, you're like, what? I mean, it's a fantastic story, but what's this have to do with the purpose of the conference? And he ended it with the fact that the cases that people are working, they don't know where that's going to go. So they arrested the mother, which put him into foster care. And he's like, I guarantee if my mom wouldn't have gone to prison and I had no business in foster care, that I'd probably be dead right now. So he credits the narcotics investigations that people are doing with saving his life by sending his mother to prison and moving on. So once it came full circle. I mean, I've been to a lot of these conferences, and there's some speakers that honestly have no business presenting. I mean, you can tell by looking around, people are on their phones, they're not engaged. There was not a single phone. There's 300 law enforcement officers on this conference. There's not a single phone out. And honestly, at the end of that one, there wasn't a whole lot of dry eyes in the whole thing. It was very, very informative, very good in terms of like officer resilience and never giving up kind of type thing. Another one, or what I will end with, there was a emerging drug trends class, talked about what kind of drugs we are seeing in our communities that are becoming more prevalent. Part of the reason why we went to the conference, or I was able to go to the conference, was because it was paid by the opioid funds. And obviously we know that opioid addiction is a huge problem in our communities. There was a sheriff's office in Alabama. The deputy performs a traffic stop. Through the course of his investigation, finds some sort of narcotics in the vehicle, has no idea what it is. Usually, sometimes, drug users have their little go bag, so to speak, that they have all their drugs in. Deputy finds this, arrests the driver of the vehicle, waits for his backup to get there, and starts inventorying what is in this drug go bag. The backup deputy has his body cam on. You can see the suspect leaning up against the front of the police car. The initial officer making the traffic stop is inventorying these bags. And in the body cam footage, you see him wipe his nose. And approximately 21 seconds later, that deputy is now unconscious, fighting for his life. So there's some sort of opioid in that. The problem with emerging drug trends is that synthetic drugs like fentanyl and these things that are not naturally derived, like heroin is, so these synthetic drugs, they mix them with other drugs, but it's just like when you're making brownies. So when you make brownies, you mix everything together. Every once in a while, you still have those pockets of like dried powder in there, right? Nothing gets mixed to a cohesive percentage. So just because they take one pill, that was fine. 2 pills, well, that was okay. Now I'm going to take 3 pills, but now this dosage of this third pill is substantially higher than the other 2. That's how we have these overdoses. So deputy wipes his nose. 21 seconds later, he's fighting for his life. He had Narcan on him. The backup officer did. He administers a dose of Narcan, brings the deputy back. Narcan is just another medical terminology or name for naloxone, which is a opioid disruptor. It attaches to the opioid receptors in the body and blocks the ability for that drug to interact with the human body. It's not a 100% fail-proof thing. It just blocks it for an extended amount of time until medical attention can be provided. So he provides him with a dose of Narcan. Deputy comes back, is conversing with him a little bit. Shortly thereafter, goes out again. He runs back to his patrol vehicle, grabs a container that has Narcan inside of it, runs back, administers another dose, brings the deputy back. Same thing. They converse a little bit, goes out again. He's out of Narcan. There's ambulance not there yet. No other backup. He runs to the deputy who is having the exposure to the drugs. miraculously finds his Narcan, which, I mean, these are our offices. Not all of our offices are set up the exact same. You go to two of your guys' offices, they're not gonna be set up the exact same. Just because I keep my Narcan someplace, doesn't mean that Rick would keep his Narcan in the same time. So he goes to his patrol vehicle, searches a little bit, gives up because he can't find it. As he's shutting it, sees it in the door area, administers another dose of Narcan. So, or, you know, the deputy comes back, and he, at that time, has backup, more backup has arrived. They load him into the vehicle, realizing like we can't wait for the ambulance. So they load him into the vehicle, start taking him to the hospital. He has to stop 3 separate times for other, there's other law enforcement officers that were blocking traffic. He has to stop 3 separate times at those people and direct them to guys in my cage, opens the door. They administer 3 separate doses of Narcan. So this deputy has a total of 6 doses of Narcan. And finally gets to the hospital, gets the extra help that he needs. I can look at you right now and tell you that if that was one of us, we wouldn't be having this conversation. We have the Narcan, but to have or need that many doses and to know where they are in other people's vehicles is something that was never, I mean, it was always there, but it never was given the credence that I felt it deserved until a couple days ago. So when I came back, I spoke with Chief Deputy Lampy, told the story to him and told him, you know, we don't have a policy in our sheriff's office policy on whether you carry Narcan on your person. I carry one on me. Most of us do, some of us don't. We don't have a policy on if we are required to carry Narcan, and we don't have a policy on where our Narcan is to be located in our vehicles.
What's the cost of them?
Narcan is, you can get it via funding through grants and stuff like that. Narcan is actually distributed to some public entities for free. People can actually, drug abusers can go get Narcan.
They have vending machines in cities, I think you just go up, pull a lever and you get it.
Really?
So the thing is, you know, with the Narcan, sometimes we use it. You basically just took that drug user's fun away. So they could go from being comatose to really upset that you just ruined their high. So I mean, it's a double-edged sword, right? Either people die or they get mad. I'd rather them get mad than not be here anymore. So I guess part of another reason why I'm here is wanted to give you guys the synopsis of what the conference was. But the other thing is now, after seeing that and realizing that we are definitely behind the 8 ball, no pun intended there, the 8 ball's a drug terminology, but I would petition the board for use of opioid funds to in this, I'm speaking on behalf of the sheriff's office. I think it would be good in law enforcement in general throughout the sheriff's office and the police department. I can't speak for them though. But I would petition the board to use opioid funds to purchase Narcan holders for our duty belts. They would hold two doses of Narcan, as well as having containers in our vehicles and having policies written that say the containers in the vehicles, everybody has the container, they have it all in the same spot. So there's uniformity across the board of them. Anybody knows where that they can go and find these items in somebody's patrol car. If you choose to wear it on your belt, it's recommended. Obviously, we carry a lot of stuff, so it's risk reward kind of type thing. Some people would say I'm not putting anything else on my person unless I'm taking something else off. In my opinion, I would like policy written for uniformity across the board for people as well as vehicles. But again, I don't make those decisions. I just provide the information to the people that can. So I would petition the board to potentially pay for containers for our person as well as our vehicles, so we can hopefully prevent something like this from happening if we were ever put in this position. And petition for that to be used through the opioid funds.
Is there different canisters you can put on your belt or
Um,
just one that's?
Part of the reason why it would not be a bad idea either is because I have it in my pocket, so you can see how mangled that is. They usually have like, I mean, they're about this size, but they fit one front to back. So it honestly, it would take up less than
Is there an expiration date on them?
there is. And there's recommended storage guidelines. So they are heat and cold sensitive. Part of, I have printed off a belt container as well as a storage container for a vehicle. The storage container for the vehicles, they have like foam inserts and they have seal rings around the lid, so they're waterproof. They would help for cold and heat, but yeah, they are recommended to be no less or no greater than 104 degrees Fahrenheit. Obviously, I mean, we live in Iowa. You could have middle of the summer, your cars are going to get substantially above that. So these containers that have the added protection built into them is probably going to be the best case scenario. But yeah, it's a grow in to piggyback on that. I'd say probably 6 or 7 years ago, I was working one evening and in our cars, we have scanners that we can listen to the surrounding counties. There's an officer in Fort Dodge who had arrested somebody, had gotten to the jail, was waiting for the jail to open up the Sally Port door, and the door opens and the car sits there. And it sits there, and it sits there. They try radioing him. He doesn't answer, doesn't answer, doesn't answer. Finally, they radio to other officers. Other officers go to the LDC, and he is passed out behind the driver's seat of his vehicle with the arrestee still in the back. I believe they used at least 2 doses of Narcan on him and ended up getting him to the hospital to get the medical care he needed. But it's here. I mean, it's everywhere.
It's only getting worse
And
too.
it's only gonna get worse.
Yep.
So, that's all I have. The conference is great, in terms of just the knowledge gained, and I wish everybody could go to it. Obviously, people have to work, but
Question. What's the cost? Does it give you the cost of those
Yep.
items?
The cost for the one that I found for the belt is $55 a piece. And then the equipment cases, it looks like if you purchase 3 or more, which I would urge one for every patrol vehicle, is $76. It's through that U line. I believe they do like a lot of
Yeah. Storage containers,
stuff like that.
all kinds of
So
stuff.
just our, doing Corey or Dane to get that put together as a purchase? I mean, to give us a price so that we know what
Yeah, we should have something.
Yeah, I agree.
proposal.
We should know roughly what you want, how many you want.
We have, I mean, there's 10 vehicles on the sheriff's office, 10
10
people,
cases.
10 cases, 10 pouches per belt, so
And then how many of those do you wanna get? I mean, they're $50, 55 each.
55 each for the belt pouches.
Okay.
And then 70, I think it was $76 for the actual case itself. So, I mean, you're looking rough estimate of less than 2,000 for sure, I would think.
Do you feel that you're well equipped? The county has got you well equipped? And are you losing the battle? As far as where we're going?
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's in terms of narcotic,
Yes.
yes, oh, yeah. It's just, I mean, we train, right? So does everybody else. We train on surveillance, we train on trying to be ahead of them, they're trying to be ahead of us. They get smarter, we get smarter. I mean, it's that whole like cutting the head off the whatever the thing is, cutting the head off snake, there's another one that's gonna, take it. It's everywhere. It's very prevalent. I think we've made a large dent in our distribution around the area over the last 10 years, but I think it would be surprising to know how much stuff is still floating underneath the radar that nobody, even us, have any idea about.
One of the things that people may not realize about the kind of job that our deputies do is we have 10 in the sheriff's department. No disrespect to Dean, but Dean's not gonna be out investigating things, so it's the other 9. And they're in charge of whatever comes their way. There's no detective for Deputy Style to give his case to. If Deputy Style gets something, he works it till it's finished. They ask questions, which is why it's so important they go to conferences like these. And obviously you heard from Deputy Style how nice of a job he does explaining what they learned. He would tell everybody in the sheriff's department that. But they have a lot more on their shoulders than you would see in a bigger department. And they really just do an excellent job of kind of running things down consistently. And the tough thing with drugs is, as you look at the history of this country, the drug users and the drug sellers have always adapted faster. I would go back to when they talked about synthetic marijuana or synthetic, was whatever it was. The state couldn't keep up with the amount of different compounds they were making this synthetic cannabis. And so the users were so far ahead of everybody because we couldn't keep up with what's in the drugs that they're using. And so here we have a little bit of an advantage in that the new designer stuff is gonna come out in the bigger cities, right? And then it travels here, so they do get a little bit of forewarning here. But they just worked a case that ended up in another state. Ended up with, I don't know how many task force involved and how many people involved, and a lot of that comes down to like Deputy Style going to these conferences and these guys working with the DNE or other task force and showing how good they are at their jobs. Because they have to act like salesmen, right? We have to get these people to come help us with all these resources. And if they think we're terrible, they're not coming. So I just think it's such a credit to us that we have these guys in the sheriff's department, and I know people don't see that. We kind of take it for granted. You look at Humboldt and it's a pretty safe place, and you see the arrests and you see the kind of cases they take care of. But what you don't realize is all the extra work they do to make sure we don't get to the point where we have a huge problem. It's the addressing the little things and addressing, whatever's in front of them consistently, but all of them being extremely competent at investigating really any kind of case. And for that, like, they're just really good for me to work with. And they're really good to really everybody they deal with. You don't see these guys getting in fights with people they're writing tickets to or arrested. And they could start them. They could get people wound up if they want. They don't. They're just real decent with everybody. So I just think they're just such a credit to our town. Anyway, sorry.
And so fentanyl is a synthetic. They have so many, it's constantly evolving. They're trying to make longer stuff just like everybody else, right? So another one is carfentanil, which, for lack of a better term, is the elephant tranquilizer. So they're putting these things in stuff that people are ingesting.
How do you get a hold of it?
It's all synthetic. It's all made. It's being sourced from China, some source from other countries, and it's legit coming over in the mail. If you are paying attention to the news, they just did a press release in Webster City where they did, the postal inspector was involved. The postal service itself has certified law enforcement that, they're trying to combat this stuff coming through the mail. It's that easy. We've had the cases here that people have gotten stuff shipped through the mail from Arizona or California. It's coming from all over the place, but this carfentanil stuff, it's an elephant tranquilizer. A fatal dose is the size of 2 grains of salt. So how do you, if you're mixing that with something else, how do you manage as a drug manufacturer? How do you manage consistency? There's absolutely no possible way. So that's why just because they take it once, everything's fine. Take it the second time, might not be fine. So it's, I feel like, I mean, we're winning, but we're losing. I mean, there's no good answer for you here. They're always gonna evolve. We're always gonna be behind new trends, but that's the purpose of these conferences and these educational opportunities is to try to fight.
The fight.
You need, yes.
They make, but they make their cases, I mean, they deal with these people here sort of as they come and they're, my experience has been, they've always been pretty aggressive with, like, they kind of have an idea of who the problems are and how they want to attack it. And they've always done a nice job of doing that. And so we're behind in the sense that they may not know the new designer drug, but as far as like who they need to deal with, I think they've always known that. And then it becomes more of a situation of how do we get in there? How do we get somebody to cooperate? How do we get into these people? But I don't know a lot about this, but it worked just really effectively very recently. Where the entire sheriff's office really worked that, but that was really neat. And I just think that you see our guys here kind of go above and beyond. I just really like working with them, so I'll stop talking.
I guess I just wanted to, I'd like to hear that, yes, we are keeping you equipped and we're keeping you educated. That we're doing, the little that we're doing is small compared to what you're doing. And I just wanted to making sure that we're doing what we can do to make your life safer and effective.
Yes, I mean,
We understand.
it's ever evolving. It's, once you get complacent, bad things happen. So,
So if we do this opioid funds that we have in our funds available, somebody want to make a motion
I
to
so move.
use that? And we could try to put a limit on it for, he thought $2,000, not to exceed 2,000. If it's more than that, we'll have to change it next week, or
Yeah,
can you have Corey or Dean put that together?
1280.
okay. I wouldn't think it'd be more for all of, like I said, I can't speak for the police department. I mean, they are law enforcement within this county. Would it be a good idea for everybody to have it? Absolutely, but I'm speaking solely for the sheriff's.
let's think that motion. Get Dean recorded.
I was gonna say, have Dean or Corey reach out, and that way we can. God knows we don't wanna step on somebody's toes.
Well, they work together,
I know,
so it'd be nice if it was all uniform across the board.
and all the funds are in Humboldt County, so.
And there's times that there's one PE officer and one sheriff's officer, so that's our.
You work together, so it'd be best that everybody had the same policy or.
That's one thing I would say is regardless of what is happening, the sheriff's department and police department, the sheriff's office and police department have always worked well together out in the field as far as backing each other up and helping each other. They've always done a good job of doing that and doing that professionally.
You wanna go to 2,000 or you wanna go to 2,500?
Why don't we get a number, how many were,
Yeah.
let's get a number and then we'll do it next week.
Well, I'll tell Corey or Dean to reach out to.
That's good.
Yes,
Get a
do
number
that.
from them too, and then just get a. Go on right on.
Yeah,
That would work. Well, thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
With
you.
that motion, does it need to be?
Oh, yeah.
It just
We're gonna
dropped.
drop it.
Drop.
Do you wanna table it?
Do we have a
Yeah.
second?
Let's-
We got a second, we jumped
Yeah,
all over it.
Let's, can we just table it
Let's stay with that.
to next week?
Yeah,
Okay, let's
it
do
works for
that.
me. It works for you. Table it till next week. All right. You wanna go on break or you wanna do Ben? Got some of these people are thinking, for God's sake, people, we came to Humboldt
Yeah,
County
that
to move
project,
here.
yeah,
Well,
done by now.
That tunnel wasn't done. Where's he still out there?
Yeah, no, let's get this.
Let's,
Yeah.
Because these people got things. to do.
yeah, they'll never come back. Then we're just gonna blame it on Dave.
All right.
How was your vacation?
Good.
Good.
You know, any.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Even with these small towns, it really just tells you that.
Yeah.
Right.
So. That happens, because they don't have a law.
Give the next one and then.
Yep. I'll give you another.
All right,
All right.
everybody closed at 9 and we, how many agenda put?
Five, there were 5 bids.
Okay,
Need to open.
What's the first one on?
We got the 10 by 12 double box.
Okay,
Corinth County.
192,880.
yes. So the first bid that we've got is for Vitamin Inc. Just going in order of top to bottom.
Yeah.
Here's his bid bond. For project. 1928.80. Total bid of $245,003.50.
245,0350.
245,00350.
Yep.
These projects were tied. It'll be the total low. Bid for 3931.70.
Okay,
Also from
Same
Whiteman.
Whiteman.
okay.
$242,130. Even. 242,130.
I disappear, my chair, I'm just down near the floor. You're like I'm about 4'1". I think I'm going out of sight.
I can finally see eye to eye with them. The second bidder is Richards Construction of Sac City, Iowa. Bid proposal for LC 192880. $204,038. 204,038. Bid for 3931.70 is 215,603. 215,603.
Is that a new name?
Richards, they have bid on projects before with us, but I don't believe I haven't worked with them.
It says we call
Where they are.
Sac City.
We spoke with one of their general managers last week. When he was up looking at the jobs. Next bid is from Midwest Contracting of Marshall, Minnesota. Bid bonds. First project. Bid is $242,780. 242,780. Second project. Bid total is $238,772. 238,772. Next bid is PCI. Rhinebeck. Bid proposal for project 192880 is $218,698.50. 218,698.50. Bid proposal for the other project with PCI, $221,133.50. 221,133.50.
Looks like you had a good turnout.
Quite a few bids, yeah.
Thank you.
Plus we allowed the flexibility of next spring for late start date. So
That helps.
helps. The last bids are from Rognus Brothers of Lake Mills. For project 192880, a bid of $197,406, 197,406. We born you?
What's
What's got my drink?
what's in the cup, Bob?
What are you drinking?
Yeah.
Yeah, place off.
No comment.
Mostly coffee trucking driving by and the other big stuff.
Bid proposal from Rognus Brothers for project LC 393170. $217,417, 217,417. Very good bids.
Yeah.
Have you ever worked with Richard at all?
With Richards? Richards did the, hydroelectric dam removal from Belt down here. Years ago. I've never worked with them.
They did a nice job in that project.
Yeah, there's like.
Who is it, Rognus or? Richard?
Yeah.
So preliminary math is, Rognus Brothers at roughly $414,823. Second bid is Richards with $419,641 and change. That's not adding everything up, but approximate bids is Rognus is the low bidder by roughly $5,000.
Yeah.
Rognus is currently in the county, doing stripping for Martin Marietta out here at the Peterson Quarry.
Okay.
So, and I believe they're Bob's right here.
I was gonna say, I met a big machine with their. The other day going through town. I got over. Didn't have much chance or choice because he was pretty big.
Nope, I very competitive bids. 5 bidders on this and obviously below what our estimations were on the project. Those were our budgeted numbers and those were based on flyer numbers to us. So.
Yeah, and I feel comfortable when they're close like that.
Yes.
When you get them outliers that
Yep.
are really low, it makes you nervous, like you may have missed something or.
Yeah.
It looks good.
But no, we'll get the numbers all final together and have them back to you guys on Monday to award the projects, barring any busts, it'll be award the projects to Rognus Brothers for the 2 projects.
Super. So question, would we do these separate? I mean, would they pull one, set one and go do the other, or would they pull them both and? I didn't know how.
I mean, I'm speaking for them, but they would mow in and finish one job and
That's
then
what I wanted.
move on to the next.
So both would be shut at the same time.
Couldn't even begin to answer that. When you open up the late completion date like that, then it really opens a big window.
Yeah.
And makes our opportunity much.
And that's why you get the better bids.
Yep. Well, we appreciate all of the bids. Right. So,
See you next week.
thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Bob.
Other item on the agenda to approve the hiring of a summer intern. Interviewed a young lady from Fort Dodge area last week. She is a sophomore
credit wise at Iowa State University right now. In civil engineering, her emphasis is environmental, but those things change.
Mhm.
Um,
I'll make a motion to approve the hiring of your summer internship.
I'll second.
Do you wanna ask what he's thinking about paying or
Like
you?
you told us.
I'm looking at 15 bucks an hour.
Okay,
That's what I started. The last time we did this, we hired a young lady from over by Renwick.
Renwick area.
She came back, I believe, 2 summers. So the first year, we had her here, it was 15 bucks an hour. So there's benefit to having a paid intern. There's incentive for them to show up beyond having it show up on their resume for future jobs. We see a benefit in them showing up because we can get them trained on our surveying equipment. They can learn what section corners are and how to tie things out. They can experience the construction side of civil engineering. But then it also develops an interest in Humboldt as a community,
Right.
you know, and possibly graduating, moving back into this area. So,
It's a breath of fresh air coming north.
yes.
And find a soulmate.
You never know.
Let's stay out of that.
Always need growth.
Let's go with the motion in the second to hire her at 15 and hope that we can keep her in Humboldt County.
Yeah.
Put that in minutes. All
Like,
right. We aren't marriage counseling as the second hand jobs. Any other additions you wanna throw in? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries.
Good. Thank you. Next week we'll have awarding the projects as well as, I believe, the first reading of the comp plan. Is that correct?
29th. 29th. 30th, I guess it was.
Yep, 30.
Also to go along with the truth and taxation.
You got a new calendar.
Yeah, put that up to date. And actually.
Perfect. Anything else for me?
I do,
Huh?
I do.
You do?
Okay.
Oh,
On 120th Street where I live,
Oh,
you don't live on 120th Street.
Yeah.
whatever.
You live on 210th
250,
Street.
sorry, 250. Anyway,
Yeah, they know where you live.
by the preacher's house,
Yep.
there are some really, really nasty, deep gouges.
Rumble strips.
No, not rumble strips. When they must have bladed it out with a grater or got stuck,
Okay.
it's really bad. It needs to be looked at.
Okay.
I hit that yesterday and I about went through the windshield. It's deep. I'm not exaggerating. It is deep. It's off to the side of the road.
were you not wearing a seatbelt?
Now, off clear to the side. I was not wearing my seatbelt.
Well, we will have to turn you in on.
Just to confirm, is this on 120th or 210th?
210. I drove all over the place and I got find
You're in 3 different counties, man.
Yeah, so,
That's a bad spot there in the winter time, so they must have got, it was a mess.
it drifted pretty good this past storm that we had last week. I don't know, 80 degrees over the weekend
Yeah.
kind of erases that, but yeah, last week, the bad storm that we had, it drifted in pretty good there, so.
Roads are soft and rain.
They are, yeah.
Did you have snow fence up there?
What's that? Do what?
No.
Yeah, there was snow fence out there.
Okay.
We we are green lighting hauling rock this week, so we're gonna haul it on 120th Street though.
You start reclaiming up there on the.
We started pulling in shoulders.
that is, our goal, I guess, is to try and pull in a bunch of the shoulders here over the next week or so. We're gonna start hauling rock. Try and will spring into existence and see if, we can't get done hauling rock early and then we can jump to tile repairs and things that
Get the
you.
rock out there early, it does get pushed into the road better.
Yeah.
Do you
As long
want,
as we don't get continued.
Josh Ingstrom's phone number? So you can call him, he just texted me about that project they wanna do on a tile, the driveway. Josh Ingstrom,
That was drainage district, wasn't it?
mm-hmm.
So is he changing gears and not wanting to put a tile in the dredge ditch and he just wants to widen a driveway pipe or?
It's whatever you think would work better,
Well, cheaper is gonna be a driveway.
right?
Uh,
The wider,
I mean, if he wants a pipe in the dredge ditch, like you said, the price from MS and Sons was like $7,000 just for the pipe.
I was visiting with him today.
Okay. Yeah, if he wants a driveway, he just gotta get with Dave and
Okay.
get something lined up. If he wants the dredge ditch crossing, he's gonna have to work with Colin Klingbeil.
Okay,
So, okay.
Do you wanna say anything about 190th?
Oh,
Is that where you live?
I was out driving out there though. And
Yes.
there's some ruts out there as well, which we've had some
So
conversations on.
190th Street between Arizona and Birch. There's an acreage on the west end just off of the blacktop. I believe it was Harry Nielsen's place at one time. I think it's still in the family, but I don't know if anybody actively lives out there. Anyway, it's a 1 mile stretch. Ditch is full in some locations, and in those locations where the ditch is full, it's mud pumping. Last Friday, I talked to Bruce. We'd gotten a few more phone calls about the condition of that road. It's been on our list to reclaim the ditch and pull the material back up onto the road and try and bring the road higher than the fields on both sides so that it stays clear in the wintertime. As well as bring the road top back to a 22-foot top. Right now it's pancaked out. It's somewhere probably closer to a 30-foot top. There's a little bit of pushback on us doing it by one of the farmers. Thinks it's a very safe road right now, being able to drive in and out of into the field wherever they want. Like I said, we had planned on not rocking it this year until we can get the road ditch pulled up onto the road and then putting 4 inches of rock on top of it. I talked to Bruce last week. He was wondering on a cost. It'd basically be like putting surfacing down on it twice this year. So you'd be looking somewhere between $5,000 and $6,000 for rock material. If you want us to walk away from it and not pull in roads, that's fine. My recommendation would be to turn the road to a level B.
but it gets fair amount of traffic.
It does.
It's 30, what'd you say?
And it's 35 vehicles a day. You've got some new residents that have moved out in the area that,
Younger.
yep, younger residents that live out in that area that drive it quite frequently. It's a straight shot across that gets you all the way as far east as Elm, I think. So
And for them, it's a 1 mile run back over the Bradgate Blacktop to.
it gets used quite a bit
Yeah.
for a road.
It comes right off of the pull out of the back way into the quarry, which is a blacktop for. So there's. Judging by the amount of beer cans and beer bottles, for several people that might drive it for. Recreational hunting or whatever they're doing. And there's evidently some young kids that are having fun with the mud that.
There's a lot of four-wheelers.
Tracks out in there, so unless there's an older guy that's rebelling. I didn't, I stayed out of the mud.
What are you saying? Are you saying to spend some money on that?
I'm just saying it's.
For the
we
amount of
talked
traffic
about it.
it gets, I think it needs to be updated. I mean, from the roads that we have done that to, what an improvement.
They have been quite an improvement.
Oh, Lord, yeah.
But we're also not in the business of trying, not in the business of trying to upset farmers while doing this.
Well,
And where one farmer
well, the
doesn't
problem
want it,
is,
there's six
you know,
others
there's a
that
couple
are
rows
asking
of
us
corn
to
just
do
farming the road ditch too.
Right.
Not-
That's
Not terribly.
not terrible
That-
there.
That was,
I don't
I
think.
don't.
Like, originally I thought that, but when I went and drove it on Friday, like, there's a majority of the material that we're gonna reclaim is just because the ditch is filled in at the time.
Yeah.
Okay, and the road's gonna spread.
And the road has just been built out.
No,
No,
Remember that.
especially where there's light holes, they don't.
But we took this project, all the way through bid letting back in 2015 or 2016. And at that time, the complaint by the, one particular person was, how come we're not doing this with county staff? Why are we hiring a contractor to do this?
Yeah,
Well, now,
now we
10
do
years
it.
later, we're coming back and we're trying to do it with county staff, and it's a different reason why we shouldn't do it.
Yeah, I feel we should move ahead and bring that road back mainly because it gets used.
It does. And this would make it so that basically every shed has a 1 mile stretch that they're looking at reclaiming and bringing back up onto the road and creating a more permanent surface for the winter time and for all around traffic,
Yeah.
really. So.
Snow blows off better.
I don't see a downside to it. I think we just won't get it done.
We'll get some stakes put out this week.
I think if you put a level B sign out there, you get a little more reaction.
We'd give
Oh my
more.
God. Good.
For sure, we do more reaction, yes.
Yeah. We will.
But if revenue sources continue to dwindle and decline, you're gonna see level B signs out on our roads. We just won't be able to maintain the 1 mile
Grid.
that Humboldt County's been blessed with, so. Sure. We will push forward. Anything else for me?
Nope.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ben.
Thank you.
By starting the rock, you know that you're gonna invite one more, so I'm just,
What?
I'm not saying, I'm just.
Well, they got,
You are
let it melt up is we.
One more snowstorm, we'll be here.
How many times has it snowed on the Robin's back so far?
I don't even want
Just
to count.
once?
Just one.
Some of them look awful cold.
The
yet.
snow was stuck to the north side of the tree.
Which means we're done.
I mean, is it, I don't know, caterpillars are coming up? I don't know.
Would you grab that glass? I wanna look at it.
Let's check. Sorry.
It's supposed to be, if snow's stuck to the north side of the tree, it's supposed to be done snowing.
Okay,
Yeah.
And it was stuck to the north side, but
which has what to do with caterpillars?
I just brought that up.
Oh my God. Do we need a recess?
We'll have a
Okay, come on.
pre-construction meeting for our paving project. April 2nd. It's a Thursday. At 10 AM. And
How did yours?
out at our office. Matthew is looking at starting P19 as early as April 15th. assuming we're done with winter.
Pardon?
So-
April 1st or second.
Second.
You said what, 10?
10.
Dave will bring cookies?
Yep.
That a baby.
Don't eat them.
Don't eat them?
All right,
Mm.
thank you.
All right, thank
Thanks,
you.
Ben.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go back to Todd.
Yay. So it's that time of year when we're working on getting our seasonal part-time help hired. Everybody that is listed on your agenda is a returning employee. We're very fortunate, very blessed to have an awesome crew of people working for us. Their hard work, I guess, makes all of us look good. I just don't get complaints about how the parks look or how you're treated when you go into the park and do your camping or whatever, so. I
Oh.
would,
Make the approval of hiring John Riles and Monty Hocus for part-time seasonal help at the rate of $24 per hour. They are very good help. I've watched them work. They do a nice job.
You can do the hand post too.
That's separate, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's separate.
I'll second Bob's motion.
All right, we have a motion and a second to hire John and Monty to return at the rate of 24 per hour. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
camp hosts,
Yep.
Yep.
These are also the same.
same story,
Same,
everybody's
yep.
returning. And basically, anywhere from 3 years to this is Rhonda's 10th year out of
Wow.
Gotch. So again, outstanding crew, nothing but good things to say, and I would strongly encourage you to hire them as quickly as you can before they change their mind.
I'll make a motion to approve the hiring of camp host Rhonda Vincent of Gotch, Kathy Human of South Sheldon at a rate of $4.50 per week, and Wendy Johnson at the highway and Lower Sheldon at the rate of $400 a week.
I'll second. All right, so we have a motion for the three said names. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion carries as well. I
Thank you.
have a question.
Okay.
Someone asked me, these ladies don't do the shelters, right? That's done through you guys? Or how does that work?
Out at Gotch, Rhonda still
Rhonda
does
does
it.
that?
Like, she has a book, like a reservation type book. Out at Sheldon, we do that one online through mycountyparks.com, and then there's a click on the Humboldt County page, and then you can reserve the cabins or shelters that way. And it seems like it's been pretty well received, pretty popular,
Pretty well booked up, isn't it?
busy, you know,
Yeah.
so whoever's asking this.
No, I said, I don't know if it's done. I thought last year it was on that way, but I said, I will check the.
Yeah, and I think we've just always done the manual thing of Gotch, Rhonda has a good handle on it, and
Well, they
Just
just
keep
fill
on
out the
keeping on.
cards and.
Good. Anything else? All right, appreciate it.
Thank you.
thanks, guys.
Have a good day.
Okay, you too.
You too. Okay, looks like we finally arrived at committee reports.
Well, the only thing I want to bring up, that Denise did get back to us already on that. Bumping it from 2.3 to
Oh, did
3, and it's adding a $12,011 to our self-funding. More than the 2.3.
I know last year she recommended going down 2, and we upped it, kept it up, and I think it worked out well. Because we have gone backwards before and that
I was gonna say, every time we do drop it, we end up the following
We're
year
having to bump.
going back to 5% because we fell below a line that. I think a 2.3 to a 3% is minimal.
Yeah,
Where is a happy number? I'm asking, I don't know. Is it
Well-
300,000? Is it 200,000? What number is it?
Our average, he said our 5-year average is 160 some thousand,
Yep,
and we're putting in 300,000, so we're covering it.
okay.
It's just like if you get a year where you have a lot of small claims, kind of when the COVID stuff come through, a lot of people are going to the doctors with a ton of small claims. And unfortunately, we had a high buildup before that, so we had intentionally reduced it. Well, then all of a sudden, by reducing it and having high claims, brought it down to where we actually have negative.
Well, that's why, Matt, because you've been here long enough, you know what the average, where would a safe place was to be? Where were we at when we decided this?
We were at 400 some thousand,
Okay, that was kind of where I was asking.
and that was high.
That was high. Okay.
I was concerned that the one from 3.2 or 3 to 3 wasn't enough.
Wasn't
That
enough,
was
but
my
it sounds like
biggest
it is
concern.
enough. I was afraid it wasn't enough either,
Yeah.
but from what cause I suggested going up to 4 or
Uh-huh.
possibly a 5. And she said that's not necessary,
Oh, that's
and
excellent.
that's her job.
5 last year,
Several,
didn't we?
wasn't it several?
We did
years-
5 last year.
5 last year.
Several years ago, we had somebody, it wasn't from Humboldt County, but somebody in our pool, they had a preemie that blew our number out of the,
Yeah,
but we can't,
No,
yeah.
there's nothing we can do about that, but it's one of those
Yeah, it
deals
doesn't
that had
affect,
what
our self-funding is our own.
our own, but I think the 3 is, you
And
wanna do that? Means we still had it on the, as an action.
being we have an action item, do we wanna do it just now and get it done with, or we could do it
Yeah.
next week?
You do it now and get it
I'd
done
just
with.
do it and respond back to your email and tell her that we went to, if you're gonna go to 3, that's what you're.
That's what I say, maybe, do we wanna get it just done today and beyond?
Let's do it.
All right, I'll make the motion to set our self-funding, or not our self-funding, our premium rate change at 3%.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion, a second and a third for 3%. Any other discussion?
What?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hold the same sign, we are gonna go to 3%.
Yeah, and Trish, what did we budget?
In my head, but
Started out at 5 and I think we knocked it down to 3.
Just now we did, but when you budgeted 3. That's what I wanted to
I
make.
think
A
that
lot different.
the day that you came back.
When I
that was
come
the
back.
day she plugged in,
We redid them, yeah.
Okay,
so,
so we're good on that end.
yeah,
Okay,
all right.
got that off our calendar.
I had a conservation meeting on Wednesday, the 18th at 5 PM. And then on Thursday, we had that 162-7 joint drainage meeting with Wright County at the courthouse at 4:30
What was that name?
on the 19th.
And I just opened my book and remembered that I didn't get there. I was. Sorry.
I should have called you. It was you did a very good job of explaining it.
Colin is outstanding at it.
Like I said, there is
He does a nice
there is
job.
some
He had all
drainage
the,
on there
he
that
had a
needs to
pamphlet about
be,
that big, and all the questions they
a
asked.
lot of surface
It is
drainage
pretty
down from the north.
So were the people in Humboldt County receptive? Were there people there that
There was what, how many, 3, 4
more,
from Wright County?
Through, yeah.
was
They're all
there
from
more
Wright
from
County.
Wright County probably than,
Yeah.
cause theirs is a bigger chunk.
Harold is interested in putting a lateral further north. And I don't know if some other 2 fellows was very interested.
They weren't interested at all, so.
So adding that lateral fade.
Oh, and you.
They're going to.
I think it was just a proposal.
There's just
Yeah.
an informational
Informational
meeting,
meeting.
so Colin's gonna come back the next time and have these figures, cause he guessed at about, I think 160,000 to run that lateral north to the next mile.
Yeah, yeah,
Real close to that, 160 to 200,000, so anyway,
that's it for me.
okay.
We also.
What else? We did something else.
Met with Nicole,
What day was that on?
was it Tuesday? I think it was Tuesday,
Yeah,
just had nice conversation with her on how things are going down there.
Okay. Wednesday, went in and talked to Ben about, pitched an idea about. I think I've told you about it, about, looking at maybe, we're settling on 9 quarries. And we're still buying all our material. I'm just experimenting. I gotta run to Cassuth County to see what benefits their gravel pit has to them. Versus what a gravel pit would have, what's benefit to us. I know they use their material in asphalt concrete projects that they do. I know some of the roads have it on them. And Ben was just talking about the price of limestone isn't going down, it's going up. Our funding isn't getting bigger, it's getting smaller, so we have to do more with what we have. And that is just something that I thought made sense, and I'm going to pursue it and see where it goes.
So is the Sooth one, is that on the Irvington corner? Is that, they own both sides of that, or?
I know they own one, I'm not sure, I think they own both.
I didn't know if Reading had the north one.
But I will find out when I get up there.
You live not let it up. Do we have gravel anymore?
There's gravel all over.
For us,
Just gotta find, I gotta find a vein that was Ben's conversation that we had, that as long as the gravel is of good quality, he's on board with it, because you got that. If you follow a truck down a limestone road in the summertime, you know what I'm talking about, we're liming fields. You put that larger aggregate that's granite or quartz, whatever it may be, it's a harder material to carry that load, so you won't lose all the fines all the time. Even if you do 30% of what we do a year, by the time you get around, you only got less than 30% of the rock on that road's gonna be gravel, so you're not gonna lose your structure at all. The structure will still be there to support the heavy loads, but you're gonna cheapen up putting a wear course on there. And that's kind of what my idea is, good or bad. Thursday, I went to the Wright County Courthouse drainage meeting with Bob and Dennis. And, yes, Sunday, I reviewed the bills that passed the second final that might impact the counties. There's quite a few of them. I'm not gonna go into them right now, but there is some that obviously are going to affect us. We'll see how they proceed from here. I didn't know what was there, what didn't pass, what did pass. Wind energy did pass, second final, and so did, I was gonna mention that the bid, transmission lines and right of ways. That's on the governor's desk right now. Waiting for signature.
But that's state right of ways, correct?
Highways and interstates.
Yes,
You define
state and federal.
State highways and state federal.
Yeah. I talked to Ben about that one. He says
Okay.
currently it's just affecting state highways and.
But if that's sitting on the governor's desk and she signs it, it ain't gonna be long.
No, it won't be long. They'll be coming to the county.
Just put them out there.
Cause that's the way of getting around the property rights.
Thank you.
Well, that's what hesitates, that's what mitigates a lot of their problems, because now they have to find a transmission line to outsource it where they can go in the right of ways. Anyway, that's all I got.
but a
Quiet.
kitty cats meeting they were supposed to have on Wednesday. 18th. And Hannah's little kids were ill, and so they canceled it for next month, early next month. They're working on tax situation where they're having their tax business done here in town, and they're gonna go ahead. But that's some of the business that's on the agenda, but it has not been taken. They've kind of got the verbal to go ahead and do the looking into this further. But as of right now, I think it hasn't been official made a vote on it, so that's just sitting there that as information they're working on. But being her kids were sick, they canceled the meeting, and so it never got done. But and then I went to Wright County drainage meeting, and learned quite a few things. I see that our position in that is pretty small. As far as we don't have a lot of what you want to call it, input on that decision.
We don't have much of a game.
No, we don't have much skin on the game on that, so. But
The problem I'm worried about is all that drainage is gonna come from the north, and they're going from a very small tile to a large one. We're gonna fill that Prairie Creek up really fast.
the 22 is gonna remain there, they're putting 48 in the site, and so that's about 70 inches of tile gonna be dumped in the Prairie Creek right
Yeah.
there. That's pretty fair amount of water.
So how far will it run before it gets to a bigger outlet?
Well, it dumps another half mile, it's in the boom.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I wondered,
But
but it's still.
if anybody ever canoed the boom, it's so full of trees and beaver dams and stuff that. The Prairie Creek is.
And it floods all the time. It floods every
The
year.
beaver dams were tremendous in there. It's too bad they don't have a use for beavers.
That's it for me.
Because there's plenty of them in there. I didn't attend any official meetings. I did go and talk with, city manager Cole on Tuesday with, their decision. They had a city council. I went up and talked to John after that about it. So. So that's all I had.
Okay. Let's see, on Tuesday I had Fedmo finance meeting, Zoom. Well, actually, I tried Zoom it and it wouldn't allow me on, so I had to end up calling and listening through that. We're still scratching head with that. Some of the things that are going on up there, Melissa Schleif down in Fort Dodge has left, so they're readjusting some of the people, which I haven't heard any names brought up that for sure they're still contemplating. Hopefully tomorrow night when we have our monthly meeting, they'll have something more concrete. Then at noon, we met with Nicole down here on things that are going on with her and talked for 45 minutes or so with her. I did get to the Wright County Humboldt one, but on Friday Ben called about that 190th, so I drove over there and I got some pictures I can show you. There's some pretty big ruts in the middle, like you said, Bob, but it's just dirt. I mean, and one of the people that's against that, you can only imagine that it's gonna be a dogfight, so. I would remind you that, next Monday night, we have a meeting with Linda at 6 o'clock for the finance, or for the comp board, is it comp? That's the board.
No, conference.
Conference.
I'll get confused all the time too.
That's at 6 o'clock, right?
6 o'clock.
And that's the 30th.
Don't be late, because by the time you walk up here, you
That's
damn near
30th.
turn around and walk back.
yes, 30th.
30th.
Yeah.
30th at 6 o'clock.
I didn't make it to the first meeting, so I can't go with the second.
That's it. We're gonna have you put in the corner for.
I would appreciate it. That's the way I always understood it, if you didn't get.
Yeah,
They had enough mayors.
Yeah, they had enough
They had
mayors.
enough mayors, but I,
You were mentioned.
yeah, you
Yeah,
were,
you were.
you know,
You were missed of all of them.
I think that they wondered why you weren't here, because you're usually here.
I
But
just,
we had everybody here. We even had the school board, so all of the people get to vote Monday night.
That was my question too, is if you didn't attend the first meeting, do you,
As long as they have a quorum of their
then
numbers,
you're
so
still allowed to
the
come?
mayors you would be
I
able to
think
come.
you'd still be able to come and vote as a mayor,
oh,
but yeah, that's why I understand it, or am I wrong?
No, I think that's the rule, or if the group had enough to be a quorum, then you could vote, but we had all the mayors and we even had the school board, because that was the reason we were gonna shift it to next Monday during the meeting, but several of them couldn't make it for that, so. And also, I guess, I've been trying to reach out to John my phone is going crazy. I know that there's a lot of people that are upset with what's going on down at the LAC. I know you two are on that board and you're listening intently. Trying to think, I think it was Thursday or Friday. I went over to Springvale to get some signatures. And believe me, that group of people, they're very adamant about, what's going on at the LEC, windmills or wind farms and the trails. So I thought I'd be in there for 15 minutes and it was I was walking around while they were getting ready to eat and it was a lot of conversation. So if you're wondering what's the pulse of the older crowd,
Golden age.
they were quite adamant about some of the things that we're doing. I said, they don't understand why we can't get along. And I use this analogy, and I don't want to drag this out, but I said, it's kind of like when my grandkids show up, the grandma cuts a row of brownies and they all sit and study it, because they want to know which one of them brownies is the bigger brownie, because that's the one I want. Or ice cream, have a half and a scoop more. Why the hell can't we get along? I don't know. I'm as intent with it as you. I'm tired of the whole thing. I can't understand that we can't make it work, and we have to, because this town doesn't. As my taxes help fund the police department, right?
Correct. And you're supposed to have 24-hour protection.
And we all work together. That's the part I struggle with. That he was saying that, Webster County or whatever, if they're down in that area, they help them. We help Wright County when we're in that area. So we have to figure this out, and I struggle with that really a lot. So April, you probably have more insight because you sat and listened to all the meetings. And it's like,
Any answers? I'd love to hear one.
Sure.
well,
No, I really do think that you guys are doing the best of separating right now. I think there's some overlapping. They need to get away from each other.
As much as I hate to say this, I agree 100% because I have tried to correct this, and I thought I was getting corrected, but in 2 weeks it just escalated even worse. They got worse. The problems got worse. Allegations got worse. So at this point, the best thing is for the city to go to the fire station, and I know nobody wants that, but where they're at now, the sheriff's department can hear everything that the police department's talking about on the phone. They can hear all the conversations. It's just there's no separation. I know they should work together, and maybe they'll work together doing it this way, separate. That's all I can hope for.
but can I ask a question?
Yeah.
They're listening to conversations. It's police business. It isn't like they're on a dating app and they're trying to.
Yeah, but some of this information they're hearing, they should not, the sheriff
Okay,
probably
I don't know.
they shouldn't hear, like a rapist or what, just different allegations that could happen, they shouldn't really be able to hear.
They are all held to the same standard, and that's this. It doesn't matter. So if they hear something or someone's name, they should not repeat it.
I agree
If
with
they
you
do, then
100%. I agree.
So they should all be able to work in the same area, listen to the same thing, and know what each other is doing. Right? And then a lot of things.
I completely understand that. I have tried, Susie. And
I'm just, that's my opinion.
and now we're working on dispatch next. Get that straightened out. We're gonna talk to Rick about after the meeting.
But by the same token, like what Susie's saying, and here we are, still talking. My daughters both work at the hospital, and I'll be in the grocery store and somebody will come up and say, your daughter did an x-ray for me the other day. I just looked at him. She can't say nothing about her doing whatever, and I said, that we don't talk about, because that's unavailable. It's HIPAA rules.
Right.
Well, I know, but she did a great job. Okay, that's the same way with the police. So that's the part that I struggle with. So we're not Des Moines, we're not Dubuque, we're not a major metropolitan area that we have those deputies that, my God, people, we gotta figure this out. We just don't need to have because I hear it from the fire department that, now we're moving. I said, all right. So anyway,
Are we sticking our head in the sand?
I don't know.
Us?
Yeah.
As supervisors?
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about
I don't like
running an elected official's office. If it was a treasurer, the recorder, the auditor, what goes on in that office is dealt with by the elected official.
So,
We have no authority over that.
so being that
Zero.
said, the sheriff should straighten his problem.
He has to take full responsibility.
He's the one that straightened this mess out, and it has not got done.
The police departments, they're hired.
Right,
Should the city be doing something more to help on that? If
They're not
in
under,
charge of their people.
that's up to the city council, and they're not under our jurisdiction.
No, I get that. I'm just asking, though. That would be their responsibility because those people are hired. And
Yes.
that's what they're doing.
Yes.
That's why they're doing what they're doing.
That's, the city has more control over their police
Right.
than we.
do over the
as-
sheriff.
When I say we, as a board of supervisors, have over the sheriff's
There's
department.
not a
The
lot.
LEC board controls the numbers for utility bills, light bills,
What they get
computers.
purchased
things like that.
and try to make things run somewhat smoothly.
Yeah,
But years ago, when Dean ran that for them, in between the upticks, there was people that were upset because he wasn't doing yard deals for the
Yeah.
grass too long or the snow scooped. It was like, come on, people. I mean, they're running both departments, but that's why I thought people are upset. So it's like, here we are, they're still mad. So I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out there's gotta be a middle of the road somewhere. That's my question. And I know I'm not blaming you guys. I'm asking because we don't discuss this and we can't.
no, well, it don't do any good. There's nothing we can do anyway.
No, I understand.
That's why I wanted to reach out to John and say, we can't hold Dean accountable to nothing. He's an elected official. So that's, I guess, my spiel.
He needs to prove to the county that he needs to set this straight.
Well, I would say that everybody has the ability, if you're running into him, you should voice your opinion to him and let him know that.
Yeah.
So, cause God knows my ears been ringing. So anyway, before we run into our second hour or third hour or wherever we're at, I'll look for a motion. Do you have anything else?
No, I do
We
not.
have truth and taxation, right, next week?
Oh, yes.
So we'll all be looking for, no, that's the following, yeah, it is 30.
Can I help you?
It's Monday, the
You're looking like you ate a cat or
Monday
something.
the 30th, yeah.
All right, we're
Mm,
looking for a motion then.
To make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 10:57.
7-ish.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Pose same sign. We are out. Thank you all.
thanks.
What's up, John?